Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of my Night Elf Hunter Let's Play series in the Burning Crusade Classic. Last episode, we spent a ton of time exploring the Stone Talon Mountains as well as Ashenvale and the Barrens, and we went on an expedition to the Horde areas, and we just completed a bunch of quests. For today, I want to go ahead and do another expedition where we currently have 3 quests taking us to the Eastern Kingdoms, the other continent, where we have Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms. And then also, since we are in the Burning Crusade Classic, we do have Outland as well. And then the next continent that we get is Northrend, which we can see a little bit of there on the map of Azeroth, but when we zoom in we can't see it, and the only other landmass we can see is the Broken Isles, and then whatever islands these specifically are. I think this might be considered Tel Aviv, and this is Kazan in the vanilla version of the map. But the Eastern Kingdoms is very similar in size to Kalimdor, where there is so much stuff going on there, so many different quests, so many different areas to explore, dungeons and raids to do if you're into that, unique battlegrounds that are present within that world space and whatnot, where we are just going to continue casually questing, where we can go ahead and complete an old colleague and a scroll from Morin, and then we also have the Absent-Minded Prospector, which is a quest that we were doing a long time ago, right over here in Darkshore actually, as we fly by. Which, in order to get to the Eastern Kingdoms, there are a few different ways. One of which is actually down here at Ratchet, where we can go to Booty Bay, but I am going to go up to Aberdeen, where we have a boat that will take us to the wetlands, where we can turn in the Absent-Minded Prospector quests, and then we can maybe do some quests around the wetlands, and then continue further into the Eastern Kingdoms to go to the Dwarven capital city of Ironforge, that is also currently home to the gnomes. And then we can also go to the human capital city of Stormwind, all of which are very iconic locations that many people should be very familiar with. And as we head into Aberdeen, we can see all 3 boats present at the harbor, including the one that will take us to Minotho Harbor, but I have a feeling we are not going to be able to catch it. Fortunately for us, we do have aspect of the cheetah, and unfortunately for us, it just left. So we're going to have to wait for that boat to return. And I can go ahead and maybe just check my inventory really quickly to see what we got going on, and I can maybe work on my leatherworking just a tiny bit. We can go to the Trades Good Merchant here at Aberdeen, and it is kind of fun to return to Aberdeen, since we are completely done with questing at Darkshore, I believe. I can still return here a little bit just to do some random things here and there. But the Trades Good Merchant, or we have a tailoring supplies here too, which should work for us. Let's just buy some coarse thread, and then we can make these gloves, which are not an upgrade for us, but we are just going to sell them straight up, where I think our goal was to get to level 100 leatherworking, but there is the chance that we might not be able to reach that before we level out of the light leather part of leatherworking, which I could just go and buy some light leather on the auction house, so I could return to areas like Darkshore to hunt more beasts to get more light leather. Let's go ahead and make one more. It'll be leatherworking level 71. And we can say goodbye to all the night elves here once again. I'm actually not sure when the next time we'll be in Aberdeen is. Maybe next time we want to go to Minotho Harbor. But we can go onto the docks, and with the Burning Crusade Classic, we do have the 3 destinations on the docks. Back in vanilla, it was only the 2. And Minotho Harbor is fun because we do have a quest out, or a boat out of Minotho Harbor to here, but also a boat out of Minotho Harbor to Theramore Isle, located further south on Kalimdor. Where we got a boat here that goes to the Eastern Kingdoms, a boat here that goes to the Eastern Kingdoms, and a boat here that goes to the Eastern Kingdoms, where these two boats go to the same spots in the Eastern Kingdoms. So if we wanted to get all the way down here, instead of running through Kalimdor, we could take this boat to go to the other continent, and then hop on the boat to go down to here, which is something that many people do. But we can see this boat arriving as so. And I really love the boats and zeppelins in World of Warcraft, but I have a special affinity to how they are in the Wrath of the Lich King. Not only because we get a new zeppelin model and a new boat model on top of all the pre-existing zeppelin and boat models, but the boats in Vanilla and the Burning Crusade are pretty bare and empty, as we can see. But in the Wrath of the Lich King, they get a crew with merchants and guards and a captain and first mate and whatnot that you can chat with, and you can sell things and buy supplies and be protected by the guards, I suppose. Which I think just adds a ton of fun flavor and detail to the world. And I just love the boats in particular are much cooler than the zeppelins, just because there's like so many more details. You can come into the captain's room here, see all these different decorations, some supplies and whatnot, a bunch of different ships, as well as some beds for the crew. And some boat models, not on the ones that you can sail on. There's also a door here that goes below deck. You can see all the fun details up here. Just so fun. I think when I think about World of Warcraft in the context of nostalgia, the boats are something that are incredibly nostalgic to me. I just have a lot of memories of being on boats and hanging out when I first started playing World of Warcraft. What we can see on our map, we are sailing from Aberdeen all the way into Barradin Bay here to Minotho Harbor. And we can see the wetlands if we run out here, and the harbor itself. Somebody's fishing, potentially while waiting for the boat. There's a dead Tauren there. You can also see this boat that is just docked. Doesn't serve much purpose other than decoration, which I love so much. But then we have some quests that we could consider doing. But first, let's get this Griffin flight path.
Can I help you?
Here we can see that we don't have anywhere currently connected to us, but that will change. Also have the Green Warden quest that we could do. That's kind of on brand for Night Elves. But we can run up here. Or we can go ahead and turn in the Mysterious Fossil quest. And then we need to get the Stone of Relu and Flagon Guts Fossil, which are from the raptors around here, I believe, is one of them. And then we can get the fossil from up there. So let's go ahead and pick up a couple of quests to do alongside this one. And I was thinking maybe we could get to level 24, but that might be a bit of a stretch. Here we can pick up young crocolisk skins. This might be a good quest to do as we do this. And then we have this quest over here in search of the excavation team. That's going to take us towards one of the fossils. So we can complete these 3 quests. Should be good for us.
You got my attention.
So let's go out into the wetlands, hunt some raptors, and hunt some crocolisks. Both of which should be good skinning targets for us. I also have this quest that we could go pick up and return to to Minotho Harbor with, which is normally a quest that you would pick up coming in from the other direction on the way to Mythal Harbor. But unique to Night Elves, we go into the Eastern Kingdoms from this direction. It's a little different for us, a bit of a different experience. And I think from here, we can just hunt for a while. I suppose I should have gone and picked up the quests over here, since I think one of these, yeah, is to kill these raptors, so that would have been a little bit of double dipping there. But I was kind of hoping we would get it before we killed 20, I suppose. But it seems like we are not. Okay, it might be time to go pick up those quests, because the second I pick them up, it's going to drop on the first kill. So let's head over that direction. I don't remember this quest taking this long in the past. It's kind of crazy. It's a very, very low drop rate, even in the Burning Crusade. Sneak over to the road and kill a few crocolisks.
It's too far away.
Well, that quest is a little bit faster to complete. We can go back to Minotho Harbor to turn that in. But let's head into the expedition site. I feel like this is a pretty well-known location in World of Warcraft. As far as questing goes. Kind of unique too. And I suppose we may be hitting level 24 after all, which is good. These raptors just running around. Let's pick up this quest.
My attention.
We'll get our first kill towards it. Then we can return to killing a bunch of these raptors everywhere. Hope for the stone. Here we have Flag and Guts fossil that we can go ahead and pick up. The easier of the two to get. And then we can also turn in this quest, which will take us back to Minotho as well. And now let's return to hunting the raptors that we were hunting earlier. On a technicality, we've already completed the parameters of this quest, we just didn't have it picked up. And this quest does lead to another one, but I'm hoping we don't have to do the other one as well. I'm also now realizing I probably should have picked up more water in Minotho Harbor. I was not prepared for this long of an excursion. we've completed this quest now. And still no stone. So let's go ahead and try to get towards level 24 while running back, because there's a quest here that we can't pick up just yet. I think we might have to be 24, maybe even higher level. We will get some experience from turning this in. Actually, probably enough experience almost. It's just a few more kills. Let's let Basil's health regenerate a little bit. My mana regenerate a little bit naturally. And then we'll kill a few more closer towards turning the quest in. And then pick up the new quests. So I guess we're ending up spending a lot of time just hunting raptors in the wetlands. But it's good experience. Probably somewhat decent gold from all the drops we're getting. Plus a ton of leather. We might hit 100 leather working after all.
I need to target something first. Excellent.
suppose we will turn in this quest and we'll hit level 24. And we can do that quest. And this one is still gray for us, which is unfortunate. But I guess this is level 27 quest. Might be a little too difficult for us, but we'll give it a shot. And if it is, I guess we'll just abandon it and go back to killing the lower level raptors. And hopefully we get the stone soon.
Too far away.
Put a talent point into here. And we'll start going into ferocity next. Yeah, these might be a little too high level for us. So I'm just gonna kill this one. And then abandon the quest. And we probably will not return to do this one ever. Let's go ahead and go pick up this quest, daily delivery. And then return to killing raptors. I feel like we've been killing raptors for like 45 minutes. Let's see how much longer it takes. But the weapons is very interesting from the perspective of a night elf, because if you create a level 1 night elf and you want to go quest in the dwarven or gnomish or human starting areas, you gotta run through the wetlands or you gotta swim along the coast. One of two options. The more traditional and like technically correct way is to run through the wetlands, but I think the more technical correct way is to run through the wetlands at the level we are currently at instead of level 1. World of Warcraft is an open-ended world where you can really do a ton of stuff, but if you were to say that there was a technical correct way to do something, a night elf would typically level in Tildersillen in Darkshore before being able to be strong enough to survive in the wetlands and to get to other parts of the Eastern Kingdoms. But we can go ahead and pick up this quest here, which will take us back towards Minotho Harbor, which we will be going to soon enough. We have 2 other quests to turn in there.
I got what you need.
And then I could take this opportunity to sell some stuff. And then continue back this way. Hopefully we'll have a 4th quest to turn in Minotho Harbor. Let's take a look back at Kalimdor for a moment. We have our very first quest in 1,000 Needles showing up, with some of the Razorfin Crawl quests down there as well. But all of our Stone Talon Mountain quests are level 27, so we'll wait a while for that. And we have more quests showing up in Ashenvale, but those are like level 28, 29. So I think once we're done with our adventures here in the Eastern Kingdoms, we'll return to Ashenvale, do a ton of quests there, return to the Stone Talon Mountains for a little bit, return to Ashenvale for a little bit, and then we might be at a good position to start heading out into the 1,000 Needles and eventually into Dustwallow Marsh. We're getting a nice boost of experience from all these raptors. But I am out of water, which is very annoying. But I suppose at this point, I'll continue to killing raptors, and I may have to take a break and return to fighting raptors as well. So we may have a cut here or there. And unfortunately, the raptors killed Basil. So let's go ahead, loot everything here, skin everything, resurrect Basil once we have enough mana, and then we shall continue. I'm also kind of running out of arrows, so I might have to return to Minotho Harbor. Get water, get arrows. Maybe we could turn in the quest while we're there. Come back, fight raptors until we're level 29. Unfortunately, as a hunter, our mana regeneration is incredibly low. But now we can revive Basil as she despawns since we started reviving her. Throw all of this up here. We're getting a plentiful amount of raptor eggs. We're gonna feed her, eat ourselves. We can eat the Strider stew.
far away? I need more mana.
Okay, I think it's time to start heading back towards Minetho Harbor. We can turn in everything we got, and then I might take a short break before we return to our raptor hunting adventures. I'm kind of curious how long this is going to take to get this one item, because I think I did it somewhat recently and I got it like my 5th or 10th kill. So this is kind of just ridiculous.
I need to get closer.
Let's attack this one, run towards the road. I should also check to see if there's a skinning trainer in Minetho Harbor. Got tailoring pants. I have so many crafting materials right now. It's crazy. So many raptor eggs that I might just try to sell on the auction house. Maybe I'll send them to my main character alongside the tailoring recipe just to clear some space. But we'll use the leather for leather working, of course. I don't think I'm going to get my cooking super high level, especially since I'm already kind of behind. And the main way you level cooking is through fishing, and I'm not very interested in leveling fishing on this character, just leatherworking and skinning. But in Minetho Harbor, we do have a few quests that we can turn in, so that will give us a little boost of experience. And I'm really hoping we don't overlevel Ashenvale by doing this one dumb quest.
Great to meet you. Off with you.
Need help? Be careful. Light bless you. For the Alliance.
Skip that quest.
Light bless you. Go with
I will
honor,
turn in
friend.
this one.
Be careful.
And there's no skinning trainer in there. There's a fishing trainer and an herbalism trainer, alchemy supplies, tailoring supplies. So maybe we'll buy, what do we need? A ton of coarse thread.
How are you?
Let's just start getting through these gloves. Then I'll have to clear some inventory space. Oh, it didn't autofill that one. That's unfortunate. Buy some more of this. We won't quite reach level 100 in leatherworking, but we'll be super close, so it does seem like we'll get there after all. Which is kind of crazy, because we will definitely get more light leather in our adventures.
Right.
Let's go ahead, buy some water, some arrows. We can maybe pick up the Green Warden quest just to turn in. There's a wandering minstrel there. I think we have a Fletcher over there.
What can I do for you? Have a good one.
Just checking the buildings, general supplies.
I supply only the
Let's
finest.
buy some sharp arrows.
Safe travels.
And then let's also make some bandages, why not? I'll sell my extra. And then just mail stuff I don't want anymore to my main character to sell. Could send gold back. And then I'm a tailor, so I'll check if I have this recipe. Chat with the innkeeper really quickly. Buy some water, and then I need to take a short break before we continue hunting raptors. And I am back and ready to continue my attempts to get this dang fossil, where I'm really interested in knowing how long it is going to take us to be able to get to this fossil, where we've killed so many raptors thus far, and I'm scared that we're going to have to kill more than what we've already done again, just to get to this one item, where in the past, again, I haven't had too many issues with getting this item, but this time in particular, I'm just really struggling, and I guess that is a good example of how RNG works in general, but this entire quest is a good example of how some of the quests in vanilla work, where I do love vanilla a lot, but to some extent, sometimes I do feel like maybe I'm wasting my time a little bit. Or I could be doing other things instead of killing the same raptors over and over for, we've probably done this over an hour now, I'm not entirely sure. But I'll just continue killing raptors, hope for the best. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. Was that our second kill? That's insane. Look at that. I was like sitting down ready to farm raptors for a whole other hour. Also, I even forgot to switch my aspect. I guess let's run back and go ahead and finally, at long last, turn this quest in. And then I'm also kind of tempted, I guess, to try to get another light leather on the way back. Is there any crocolisks? Let's run back here really quickly. See if I can lock in the 100 leather working while I'm thinking about this. Medium leather. I guess I needed to kill more raptors after all. Another thing to skin here. I still can't believe I got it. Okay. That's enough for one more attempt on the gloves. But then I have the 3 additional quests currently. One further in the wetlands, one into Ironforge, and one into Stormwind to turn in. To continue, finally, our expeditions into the Eastern Kingdoms, where I think a good chunk of this entire episode now is going to be our expeditions in the wetlands. Or I suppose there is more we could hypothetically do, where there's one really interesting questline with the Green Warden, which I did on my human mage character. But it kind of fits the vibes of the Night Elves, where in fact, in the Cataclysm expansion, we see a Night Elf town added to the wetlands, which makes a little bit of sense because of the Green Warden, but does also feel really out of place in general. But it's kind of a cool questing area. Let's just run over towards the tailing supplies first. And I'm going to get rid of this light leather. I think I needed 2 coarse thread, yeah. Let's hope that we get 100 leather working, otherwise I might get a little bit more light leather, but I do not need to. There we go. And now we can finally start using our medium leather, and I think we're going to be getting medium leather for a while. I'm gonna sell this dang raptor egg. And then I have the very special, unique Stone of Relu, and I also got Flagon Guts fossil combined with the fossil that we got from Darkshore that we can go ahead and run into the inn, up back to the top floor where we got our dwarf friend in here. And we can finally, at long last, turn in this quest. And we can get one of these items. Maybe can dual wield. And I'm now honored with Ironforge, but our dwarf friend begins to manipulate the Stone of Relu over the two fossils and says, "By the stars, a spirit has been summoned. Who hath summoned forth Amon? Ah, I see you toil with relics of the past. Be warned that even your creators are fallible. Digging too deep into your past might bring an abrupt end to your future." And he dissipates before our eyes. The dwarf, speechless. It's a mystery of the past indeed, but a key to our future. Where the dwarves in recent times have moved away from mining and more towards archaeology to try to figure out where they come from, which is a massive storyline throughout all World of Warcraft into the modern day version of the game. But we see a lot in vanilla, and this is one of the first tastes of it we get in vanilla. If I could swap that out, dual wield daggers now. But I'm also kind of interested in getting the training to use this sword, but it kind of looks like our dual wield is a little bit better, at least DPS wise, not as good stats wise. But looking at everything else we have in Menethil Harbor, again, there's some stuff that we can do, but I mostly want to focus on Kalimdor stuff and Ashen Vale, Stone Talon, and those areas of the road. So I'm now going to begin a long journey through the Eastern Kingdoms, and we can kind of do what a lot of people do at level 1 on their Night Elf character, of running through the wetlands in order to get to Stormwind so that they can start questing in the human starting areas. But for us, it's a little bit different because we won't be dying every few feet from the enemies surrounding us. I think as we return to Ashen Vale, our next goal is to quest in that zone until level 27, and then we could probably go to Stone Talon Mountains for a bit, and then return to Ashen Vale and finish up all the quests there. I've completed pretty much everything I wanted to do in Teldrassil and in Darkshore, and it'll be fun to do that in Ashen Vale. I'm not sure if we'll do that in Stone Talon though. Looking into the Thousand Needles and Swallow Marsh, I definitely want to do that in those two areas. Though Thousand Needles for the Alliance doesn't have a lot of stuff going on, where there's a major Horde questing hub, and there's a major neutral questing hub that both Horde and Alliance can do. So in general, it's just a much better zone for the Horde, but still fun for the Alliance. And I think as far as our adventures in the Eastern Kingdoms goes, the next time we return will probably be to go check out Stranglethorn Vale sometime in our level 30s. And then maybe again as we approach the higher levels and need to go to a bunch of different areas to get experience in a bunch of different places. Kind of peaceful to run along the road at night. You can see a bunch of fun sights off in the distance everywhere, including some Dragon Maw orcs. We can go to the neutral goblin merchant over here once again and check for some new potions maybe. I didn't buy anything last time.
Time is money, friend.
Just some herbs that we could buy if we wanted, but I'm okay. He might have not had anything available last time, if I recall now. But we have the quest to turn into the Green Warden, which is going to lead to a somewhat lengthy quest chain of like 3 or 4 quests. Maybe just 3. That does have kind of a cool item at the end that's kind of relevant to our vibes, but you need herbalism for one of the items in order to effectively use it, which is really, really cool, but something that I don't have. Go ahead and complete this, and then we will not be picking up Tramping Paws. But now we can just continue running through the wetlands. I'm thinking about everything I want to do. I think maybe we'll get a little sneak peek at Stranglethorn Vale, but we won't be really diving into that zone for a while. Some slimes all around here. Some gnolls off in the distance. And we're going to start experiencing a really fun thing with this part of the Eastern Kingdoms, where we are currently in Casmodan, and we can see up there off in the distance is a massive dam blocking the water from a massive lock. You can see some of the water being let through down in the waterfall there. But the wetlands is more or less at sea level, a little bit higher than sea level, of course, with Minotaur Harbor being a major port into Casmodan. But we are going to start heading up the mountains within Casmodan, this region of the world, where the Eastern Kingdoms is really kind of split up into 3 major sections, where you have this like northern continent here, which is known as Lordaeron, which features many locations, including the Kingdom of Lordaeron, the Kingdom of Gilneas, the Kingdom of Quel'Thalas, and other kingdoms as well. But then we have this central section of the southern part, known as Casmodan, which is mostly dwarf lands, and then we have the southern part of the Eastern Kingdoms, which is also known as Azeroth, kind of the same name as the world, but also known as the Kingdom of Stormwind. I have a few dragon maw grunts that we can fight here, and I also need to feed my pet in a second. Got some linen cloth, and the melon juice is actually very nice. I bought a full stack and we didn't need it, but I'm sure I'll use it in the future. Pretty steep up this tunnel as we climb higher and higher up into the mountains. And we're going to start seeing a new zone very soon, where with the tunnels being an interior space serving as a transition between the zones, the change in scenery between the 2 locations, where we are coming from the wetlands and we are entering Loch Modan, is very, very abrupt, where it's very swampy back there, And now we're inside of a tunnel. And we get one little bit of the swamp left here. See some dwarven fortifications. Take a look at all of that. And then, as we head up this tunnel, past the dwarven mountaineers, which by the way looks so cool, we shall enter a brand new area known as Loch Modan. Very green, very verdant, full of wildlife. The massive loch in the center, the namesake of the zone. We have a quest here to go to Stormwind, so maybe I should pick this up just to get the 6 silver and 100 experience and another quest ticked off. Where we have a mountain pass here to head into Dún Moro, which I've always pronounced as Dunmoro, but that's allegedly wrong. Pick this up. Where there's another pass down towards the south, but what is also down towards the south? Oh, there's a breadcrumb quest. Okay, maybe let's get rid of this. What's also down to the south is a flight path at Dulcimar that we can get, and then we could grab this quest, run up here, turn that in, pick up the quest, go to Stormwind. The mountaineer just ran off to go fight that spider. But it's cool to see some of them walking around on rams. And I believe as we reach level 30, we will be able to get a mount of our own, assuming we have enough gold to do so. And here we can see the dwarven town of Dulcimar, which I love so much. It's one of my favorite towns in World of Warcraft, just because of the green grass growing on the roofs. It's kind of a tongue twister. But let's get the flight path here. And then we can see it connected to Minotha Harbor, the 2 flight paths that we've gotten. And then I'm looking for Mountaineer Kedrell, who should be right around the corner here. Yes, there he is. Where we can go ahead, pick up
What's on your
maybe
mind?
multiple quests. We could get
Good. See
quest to
you
go to
soon.
Stormpike,
Keep your feet on the
to
ground.
Stone Gear, and to Rockgar. Where these are all quests that are going to places that we are currently going. So I guess we might as well just turn them in. Where Report to Mountaineer Rockgar is the transition quest from Loch Modan into the wetlands. And of course we did a kind of reverse where we came from the wetlands into Loch Modan, where we get a quest here to go kill a bunch of orcs, and then to get into the wetlands, and then to run to Minotha Harbor to turn it in, which I'm not going to do that.
How are you? Keep your feet on the ground.
Talk to me. Off with you. Watch your back. Be good. Here there.
Continuing through Dune Moral, you can see another stark transition. Do have one quest to turn in at Keranos before we head into the city. Discovered the zone properly there, I suppose. And Dune Moral is very interesting because it's a snowy zone, and there's one other snowy zone in World of Warcraft that's kind of similar to this area, but also very different. But that is Winter Spring, located in the northern parts of Kalimdor, which is one of the two basically max level zones in Kalimdor. An area that we'll get to eventually, assuming I ever get to that point on this character, I suppose. I could just stop playing this character one day, who knows? It's always interesting to quest through like Teldrassil and Darkshore and whatnot, and then to run through Loch Modan and through Dune Moral, because there's so many quests all around here that we can see, but it's basically the equivalent to what we've done already as far as the number of quests and unique opportunities that are present go. We can see a warlock here, a class that we ourselves cannot be. We as in night elves. But here on the outskirts of Keranos, we have one quest that we can turn in, but I'm going to not pick up the subsequent one. Here at Steel Grill's depot. You can see Keranos there.
You got my attention.
Let's go ahead and
Watch
turn
your
this
back.
in. And I am not going to do the search for Incendianite, but I think we could just buy it off the auction house and then run and turn it in if we really wanted, but I'm not going to do that. Now we can go even higher up into the mountains. One final stretch of elevation to gain. We can see the dwarven capital city of Ironforge. Where we have one of our quests from Stone Talon Mountains. That's going to take us here. But then we could also stop by the leatherworking and skinning trainer. There should be one in Ironforge. Maybe stop by the bank, throw all of our leather in there, or grab all of our leather because maybe we'll do some leather working. But here we are, Ironforge, what serves as the biggest hub for the Alliance during the vanilla version of the game, and pretty much only during vanilla. It becomes pretty quiet afterwards. Of course there's always going to be some players around. But let's check with a guard really quickly. And let's see where we need to go for leatherworking. Northwest side of the Great Forge. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking because the tailoring merchant is right here. I go there a lot on my human mage character. Or at least I used to go there a lot. Less so now that the Burning Crusade is around. Up these stairs here. And I'm hoping the skinning trainer is in here because we do need to learn next year of skinning, and I also forgot to go grab the leather. But here's the skinning trainer. And then our leather worker here. Go ahead and learn all of this.
You have a great day now.
And we can also convert light leather into medium leather with that recipe. But we could make medium armor kits. So I was trying to debate what I want to do. Let's run back to the bank really quickly. It's only right over here, so not far to go at all. And then we can make these boots that are not as good as what we currently have. So I think currently the best bang for our buck might be just making the medium armor kits, but we also can make the cured medium hides. So we could do that one first. Let's check for any more hides in here. Plus the medium leather that I want. Go ahead and throw that there. And I don't see any more medium hides. Unless I'm just completely missing this. But I did get the extra leather that I had, which is good. And we should check with the trainer maybe. But we can buy 8 salt in order to cure these hides. That should hopefully give us 8 points of leatherworking. Get us a nice start.
Interesting.
Salt is pretty cheap, which is good. we'll start seeing what armor we can get. And hopefully we'll have more and more armor that has stats on it. So at least green level armor. Eventually we can make like blue level and purple level, rare and epics. I should maybe consider selling these light armor kits. Let's check the trainer here. Next is going to be the cloak. So let's come back up here. And then, yeah, we'll make at least 4 of the medium armor kits, because I'm going to want to put them on my armor. But in 2 more, we can train something new. Dark leather cloak, which looks like it's not better than what we have, but in 3 more I can make dark leather pants. So let's go ahead and just make 3 more medium armor kits here. Let's check these out. 8 agility. We lose out on stamina and spirit, but I think the +4 agility plus the more armor might be worthwhile. It is a lot of medium leather, but we can afford it. Then I suppose maybe making the boots is now our best option. So let's get 4 more of these to get to the next tier. And then let's see if there's anything new we can learn. Gloves and toughened leather armor. The armor is worthless pretty much. The gloves are actually somewhat decent, but I don't think buying an elixir of minor agility decent. Where, let's go ahead, make 5 more of these. And then we'll be able to train up to our next tier of leatherworking, which is kind of exciting. And I should maybe also clear out my inventory here a little bit with all these random items that I got. I could also make this 1 bandage. I'll sell that too. And we can turn that up. And then belt and gloves.
Daylight's burning.
The belt is pretty good, but we need a fine leather belt, and I don't have enough light leather for that, which is unfortunate. And then Fletcher's gloves. Sounds good. Ranged critical strike. And chance to parry and attack. Or let's buy these fine threads, and we have just enough medium leather, but I think we need to go buy some long tail feathers. So are you ready to sell that? I have all these medium armor kits, one of which might go on our brand new hands, but this seems perfect for us as hunters. And then I'll put that back in the bank, or into the bank in the first place. Let's
Hello.
this really quickly.
See you soon.
And then let's check for these. So they're pretty cheap, but we don't have a lot of gold right now. So let's go pick this up and then make a brand new pair of gloves specifically designed for S, using a bow or a gun. It will work for well. We can craft this. I think this is really fun. We currently have some red gloves that goes with our red chest. But let's equip this to get new gloves, and then we can upgrade the gloves. And I'm going to upgrade our legs, and I'm going to upgrade our feet, going from +8 to +16, and then I'll upgrade our chest. Fun. Let's run into here.
You got my attention.
I'm going to put these items back through here, add my wool cloth there,
Very good.
and then we can sell these gloves that we just got, and then we can continue with our adventures through the Eastern Kingdoms.
What can I get for you today? Safe travels.
I like these gloves a lot. Hopefully we start getting like even more critical strikes. First things first is I want to run into here where we can find the hunter trainer, and then I also thought maybe the weapons master was in here, but it might be back to where we were. But we could get beast lore, which I don't think is super important, kind of just fun immersion. I don't think either of those are necessary for us. New raptor strike is good, and we can track hidden, which is actually really good, at least from a questing point of view. We can track that there now, and then new raptor strike. And let's check with weapon trainer.
Safe travel.
Which might be, oh right over here. It's been a minute, but we have the dwarf weapon master, so we can get axes, guns, and two-handed axes.
Good.
And then the gnomish one, we can get crossbows. All of which we will be starting at weapon skill 1. And truly hunters can use a ton of weapons, which kind of birthed the meme of every weapon in the game being a hunter weapon. We've currently really only leveled up bows and daggers, and I think I want to stick to just using a bow. But as far as melee goes, I can look at different things. But here we can turn in this quest.
Off and away.
Now we need to get some potions for this person. I think the best way to do that is to run back towards the auction house. Ineptitude plus chemicals equals fun. I guess we have another quest here that we could pick up to go to Stormwind to start Dead Mines questing, which I will not be doing. We're pretty high level for Dead Mines right now. Too bad I didn't buy minor mana potions, or that the alchemy merchant didn't have them. Minor mana potion, we need 4 of these, and they're very cheap. Go ahead and buy these 2, and those 2, and then elixir of minor fortitude. I feel like it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but not that bad. let's get these two. And then we'll be able to complete this quest, which I think will send us back to Stone Talon, which we can do around level 27 if we want.
Need to get closer.
I think our quest to Morin might have us go get something different as well. And then Warren's gonna have a bonus quest for us in the Stone Talon Mountains. Also, I'm very excited for us to get our first helmet and our first shoulder pads, because we're starting to get decently high level for when you would originally get them, and I have not gotten them yet. Back into Tinkertown, the Gnomish district. Let's turn this in here.
Greetings. You have a great day now.
And then
Seeing you.
back to Stone Talon with the NG5. And then we can pick up Speak with Shoni.
Be seeing you.
Then go to Stormwind. So we have 3 quests to turn in there. But we can go into the Deeprun Tram, a very iconic location that serves as an easy way to get from Ironforge to Stormwind and vice versa. Where before the tram starts, you could even do the very low level quest here. Level 12 Deeprun Rat Roundup, which I think is kind of a fun idea for us to do, since we are a hunter and we have animals constantly following us. We can go ahead and get even more here.
It's too far away.
And then let's run back here. The tram is here now, but I don't think we'll be able to catch it, which is really unfortunate for us,
Hi, you're a tall one. You have a great day now.
because we have this little bit of roleplay here where we're going to put the rats into these boxes.
Can I
And then we
help
can
you?
go ahead
Be
and get this
seeing
quest
you.
where we will get Deeprun Rat Kebabs that I'm not going to eat these. I'm just going to
Alrighty
sell
then.
them. But now we have to wait for the tram, and we saw the one come here, so this one is going to be next. Where there's 2 and they alternate. I just love this design or model or whatever. It's complete nonsense, but it really fits the vibe. We also see ticket booths here that we don't really need to buy a ticket. You can just hop onto the tram. And then the tram itself is very fun with some sights in the center that you can see. We can also sit on the subway bench, just wait for the tram as so. But as it appears, we can go ahead and get on it. And as we approach the center of the entire system, we're going to see a very interesting thing where we're underwater. If you ever pay attention to the map, there's not really water between Ironforge and Stormwind, but it's still cool nonetheless. There's also like a bunch of Easter eggs within the water as well. But then we start heading back up, and we will eventually arrive at Stormwind City, the human capital, and basically the capital of the Alliance, serving as a major hub throughout most of World of Warcraft. You can go ahead, turn this quest into Nipsey,
Greetings. Very good. Off
and
and
we'll
away.
get kebabs, and maybe
Hi,
I'll just sell straight back to him. You can buy more if you really wanted.
All right,
But then let's run up here. These quests don't really give us experience because we're such a high level, but it's still fun to complete, just to complete another quest in the game. once Wrath of the Lich King comes around, our stats will be a little padded, which is good for us. But then we have 2 quests in the Dwarven District that we can go ahead and turn in. And then I'm going to want to go towards the Trade District. And I'm just now realizing that I never went to the Flight Master in Ironforge. And that is a mistake on my part. And I'm going to have to go back, I think. Because I really want that. But that's a silly mistake on my part. So I guess we'll experience the Deeprun Tram a couple more times. The fortunate thing about this is that I don't think a single person is watching this currently, because I'm just spamming these videos on my very, very low view, low subscribed channel, and I'm not even putting that much effort into these videos. I'm kind of just vibing, chatting a little bit. I guess if you happen to be watching this, go ahead and comment something, because that would be absolutely crazy actually. To some extent, this just adds a little bit more watch time for anybody who might throw this playlist on to support this channel's watch time. Or this entire video in general has definitely gotten very, very long. Our expedition is long. You can see Nessie there, which is very, very cool. You can run the length of the tram if you really, really wanted, which I've done it before just for like the fun of it, but it doesn't really serve any purpose and it just takes a long time. And let's just quickly run back into Ironforge so that we can get the flight path. See the Hall of Explorers here. There's a lot of quests coming out of this area, but starting at like level 30 into the 60s, or into the 50s, I suppose. But here's the Flight Master with the little green check mark floating above his head, meaning we haven't unlocked it yet. We can go ahead and get, and now we have the connector here. So now, as we unlock flight paths down further south, we can fly to Minotha Harbor, so we don't have to run all the way back to Ironforge from Minotha Harbor. Or I guess it'd be from Wakwadan, because we could fly there into Thelsamar. But I'm really fortunate that we have Aspect of the Cheetah. It just makes this entire experience a little bit faster for us. And then I think it might be this side, but as always, let's just run towards the center so we can get on either. And hopefully we don't have to wait too long. We can kind of check to see which one is coming. It's not really important. If you just sit here and one shows up, you have more than enough time to get on. We can take the tram for a third time. Which is kind of what humans do, because you run here, or you get here on the tram, you pick up this quest, you do it, and then you have to go back to Stormwind to turn it in, and then you have to come back here to continue further into Ironforge. So in some ways, that's just what we were doing. It's fun to see Tinkertown off in the distance, but of course from a technical point of view, this is a completely separate instance than the Eastern Kingdoms. Let's go ahead and feed our pet. Want to keep Basil well fed, of course. And we looked off in this direction, so let's go ahead and look in this direction to the water and just see what the middle looks like. So now we'll have seen both sides and the middle, all three different points of view, or the middle. It's not too interesting, but we can see the other tram going off in the other direction as it meets in the exact middle, which I think is fun. I might have a video of me running down the entire length of a tram on one of my old characters. If I still do, maybe I'll post it on this channel as well, just for fun. But I might not have it anymore, and in that case, I will not. Love the trash decoration as well. But with that whole kerfluffle with the Iron Forge Flight Master out of the way, we can now officially enter into Stormwind City and actually go into the city and begin exploring some stuff. Let's go ahead and speak with the Stormpike Emissary just to unlock the reputation there of the Stormpike Guard. But we have Shoni the Silent.
Hi, you're a tall one. You
Just
have
get
a
50
great
experience
day
or something, 55 experience. And then we have Stormpike's Order
What's
here.
on your mind?
Can turn this in
Watch your back.
and get 100 experience. It's pretty much worthless, but it's a little something for us. Where we have a variety of quests that we can pick up, including a bunch of like very low level human quests that kind of just add a lot of flavor to the city, but we will not be doing those, I think. Maybe one day in the future. But I think we'll go to the Mage Quarter and then we'll go to the Trade District and the Valley of Heroes and do some of that stuff around there. I need to remember to get the flight path. But I think taking the Deeprun Tram to Stormwind, if we forget, is much nicer than riding from Lochmadan to Iron Forge. So between forgetting the two flight paths, this one would be a little bit better. You can see so many players here. Stormwind acting as the major hub for the Alliance, alongside Shadowwrath, but Shadowwrath doesn't have like a auction house, which still makes Stormwind and then the Horde equivalent of Orgrimmar very, very popular and bustling locations. Up here we're going to have our friend Colin Maureen. We have a quest to turn in. That's going to lead to another quest and a completely separate quest to pick up to get crystallized scales from the Stone Talon Mountains. But then a scroll for you, and then we need to get Dust Devil Debris, which is going to take us to Westfall. I actually don't think we can pick this up. We could maybe double check at the auction house really quickly, but I think this is a quest specific item, so we're going to want to run to Westfall and try to do that, where there's a lot of stuff that we could potentially do if we really wanted, including Duskwood being an at-level area for us that I think we will return to sometime. I think I have special unlocks on this account that I can get here.
Farewell. Be careful. Safe travels.
I think it's just from like having bought subscriptions at some point. It's kind of an interesting idea to see in World of Warcraft Classic.
Hey there.
That I'm just going to throw up here for now.
Have a good one.
So many people around here. Somebody opened a portal to Theramore. It has the Stormwind photo inside of it. But let's just double check. Dust Devil. Yeah, nothing. So next, let's go ahead and go to here, where we have the Weapon Master. You can get polearms, one-handed swords, and two-handed swords. We're spending a lot of gold, but we can now equip this, which I think is fun. And I don't know what weapons I want to use, but we have I think every weapon that hunters can use now trained. So we can use guns and crossbows on top of our bows, and then many different melee weapons. Let's go ahead and get this flight path, and we can see we can return all the way to Minotho Harbor. But then let's do a little trick here to get up here. If I can choose to not fail it, there we go. Then we can jump to here to get into the Valley of Heroes. And then we have so many flight paths all around here that maybe we could spend a lot of time getting. Let's go ahead and call Basil. But we can, of course, be unarmed and just use our fists. We can use two-handed swords, two-handed axes. We can also learn thrown. We can use swords, staves, pole arms, and axes on top of our daggers. Into Elven Forest, one of the most iconic locations in World of Warcraft, if not the most. Honestly, everywhere is iconic though. I think next we'll run into Westfall, start looking for Dust Devils, and we could go to Sentinel Hill, pick up a quest maybe, because we can go into Duskwood, we can go to Red Ridge, maybe even sneak into Stranglethorn Vale for a moment. And we're slowly but surely gaining some experience as we do all of this. Kind of like the name of the sword being Woodsman's Sword, because I feel like the vibes of our character is to be a woodsman. But let's start going off the main road a little bit. Keep an eye out for Dust Devils. I think going this direction is probably the better bet. I do think there's one that probably wanders around this way. But I know there's like a couple that wander pretty close to Sentinel Hill. I also have a ton of beasts around here that we need to be careful of. Westfall is another good zone for people who pick up skinning as a profession. Okay. Let's just zigzag this way. Oh wait, there's one there. Send in Basil. This might be a good opportunity to practice our sword. It's immune to our Serpent Sting. Let's see. Two-handed swords increase to 2, to 3. To 4. We actually got a hit off there though. And we got our Dust Devil debris, so that quest is complete. And it is indeed a quest item, so we had to come here to get it. But now we can run into Sentinel Hill. And then I think we could follow the road all the way around. But for the quest we just did, we do have to return to Stormwind. But we have this Defias Brotherhood quest that we can pick up, and is allegedly worth 1100 gold, which is good for us. And then we have Thor, the Griffin Master. crazy
How are
name.
you?
So we have this griffin unlocked now. Of course, every single zone we go through feels very unique and different than one another, with a very distinct color palette. But to some extent, the vibes of all of the zones in the Kingdom of Stormwind are similar to one another. Or the vibes of this area does feel similar to Elven Forest in some ways, and it feels similar in some ways to Duskwood, the zone up here. Duskwood and Elven Forest feel very similar in more ways than they do to Westfall. But Duskwood is a very spooky zone that features a lot of storylines connected to the Worgen, which is another storyline that we will be experiencing in Ashenvale. But we won't be doing that for some time. We have a quest here that's going to take us to this town, Darkshire, or we are heading that way, so we might as well pick it up, just get a little bit extra experience. And then if you ever want to do the follow-up quests sometime in the future, this one will be completed for us.
What can I do for you?
Oh, there's a breadcrumb quest that takes us this way, so maybe I won't do this one, which is a little unfortunate. But that's okay. Sometime in the future. I really like trying to complete all the breadcrumb quests. I know most people probably don't care, but I would rather hold it for the potential of me doing it in the future than the actuality of me doing it in the present. We do need to be very careful of the abomination known as Stitches. That's a level 35 elite that would definitely ruin our day. Who will wander the road from Ravenhill to Darkshire upon the completion of a certain quest that players can do. A somewhat lengthy quest chain. I have this quest here to kill pygmy venom web spiders at this crossroads that goes to Stranglethorn Vale. And Stranglethorn Vale is the level 30 to 45 zone, so it's not really something that we will be able to explore at the present moment. But in Stranglethorn Vale, we have the town of Booty Bay that has a fight master for the Alliance and Horde, and in Vanilla we have Gromgo located right here, which has a fight master for the Horde. But there was no fight master in Northern Stranglethorn for the Alliance until the Burning Crusade, and it's probably one of my favorite things with the Burning Crusade, because it makes a lot of sense to have this fight master here, and it's incredibly beneficial for us, because otherwise, in order to get into Stranglethorn, you had to fly to Darkshire and run the entire length of Darkshire to get to Stranglethorn, or to go through a very high level area down to Booty Bay. So in general, it's just very nice. And Stranglethorn Vale, very different than Duskwood. And there's a lot of stuff for us to explore here, and you can see level 30 young Stranglethorn tigers that we are going to ignore. But here we have Nizzle, the Griffin Master, connecting back to everything we've gotten. But I'm going to do a 180 and return to Duskwood. young black ravager, but we should be able to continue past this way without even getting hit, which is nice. Duskwood is a little bit of a dangerous zone, I feel like, between Stitches and between a road boss that spawns in the center here, which is not very dangerous but could kill an unsuspecting beginner player. Which is also a road boss that's kind of deeply connected to the Night Elves in general. Night Elves just got a lot of lore going on in World of Warcraft. We'll be able to enter the town of Darkshire, which I don't think there's anything here that I want to do. Maybe check one thing and get the flight path, of course, which will be an important flight path in the future. Darkshire is a really cool town, pretty similar to Goldshire and Lakeshire, but let's run up here really quickly because we will have this flight master that we can chat with to get another flight path, so we can return here anytime in the future. We're just doing a lot to invest in our future right now. And then we can run into the Darkshire Town Hall, where I just really quickly wanted to check. You can see Ankrite Dalan here, or Draenei, that you actually come to this town if you are a Draenei character, or you go to Ashenar, and it's basically guiding you from the Draenei starting zones into the rest of Azeroth, which I think is very cool. You can also see, I just remembered, Darkshire is spelled out here on the sign, which is very interesting to see. You don't really see English lettering in World of Warcraft all that often. We'll have another goblin friend right up here that we could check with really quickly. Also, our two-handed sword skills now 5 out of 120. Got a tiny bit of a start, and I'll probably intentionally try to level that up just so we can use two-handed swords. But right up here we have a member of the Night Watch, and then a member of Booty Bay, Kha'Zix, who sells rare goods. I think the lesser mana potions are actually more expensive than they are on the auction house, but I might buy the healing potions just to have them. Can put an enemy to sleep with the magic dust that we got. Right. Put this down here. Just throw that on my action bar there. You can kind of see this edge of Duskwood is transitioning into Elwyn over there, but it's also going to start transitioning into Red Ridge here. You can see a little bit of over there. And Red Ridge is definitely going to become very red within the rocky terrain. And this is going to be the final flight path that I specifically tried to get in our adventures here in the Eastern Kingdoms. A very long expedition. A tarantula blocking the road. But we could pick up this quest too, I suppose, taking us this way, where there are a ton of very simple quests in all 4 of the zones in the Kingdom of Stormwind that just takes you all around the world, or all around these 4 zones, but also some to Ironforge. And we could spend, honestly, like another hour or so just completing all of those, doing basically nothing but running around, bringing certain notes to certain people and whatnot. And it's kind of a cool experience when you play a human character, but I don't think it's really anything important for us. Down here, let's go ahead, get the last flight path we need, but also turn in the Encroaching Knolls quest.
What can I do for you?
Just get 2 silver and 120 experience.
Need help?
And then finally, we got these 5 flight paths plus these 3. We have 8 flight paths unlocked in this episode. So this Blackrock Bounty quest, which leads to an insane escort to get Corporal Keishan, who is missing in action, out of a cave controlled by Blackrock Orcs, which leads to him being a major quest character in the Cataclysm version of Red Ridge Mountains. But there are many quests. We also have Aarontir, the Hand of Chaos there. Got Lucius, if that's how you spell either or pronounce either of their names. But it's kind of cool to just see a Night Elf character hanging out on the docks. But then let's run into here really quickly just to turn in this quest we got from Sentinel Hill, and we will not be doing the next one, I think, since it takes us back to Westfall and is a part of that hour of running around Stormwind, the Kingdom of Stormwind, completing all of the quests. Where now I have the quests that we can go turn in down here, Devils in Westfall. So let's take a flight pack back to Stormwind, and then I think that's the last major thing I have to do in this expedition, where we will have 3 quests to return to Stone Talon Mountains, which we will do sometime, and we'll consider doing some of these other quests as well.
What can I do
But
for
for
you?
now, let's go ahead and enjoy the flight back to Stormwind. it's so cool to fly into Stormwind. It's also cool to see it raining. And there's also one additional general thing that includes a couple of smaller things that I wanted to check out while we are in Stormwind. Let's go ahead, summon our pet, start sprinting extra fast. As a hunter, we can just put more power into our legs, I suppose. First things first, is we'll continue through the trade district. Talk to Colin Maureen. As I get stuck on a signpost as I tab out for a second. And then onto this wall.
Need something? Safe travels. See you
Turn
around.
this in.
Safe travels.
This should take us
See you later.
back to Stone Talon, and we also became honored with the Nomergon Exiles. Got 250 rep with them and 250 with Stormwind, and got a lot of rep for that one quest. So we can return to Stone Talon for that. But I want to go to the park, and I want to check something out really quickly next to the park, where we see the different districts here. We've got the Mage Quarter for all the magical stuff, Cathedral Square for all the light stuff, and then Trade District and Old Town and Dwarven District for the Dwarves and Gnomes. But we have the park for the Night Elves. But also here we can see a bunch of construction workers with a lot of explosives that are going to tear down this wall as they build Stormwind Harbor, which is the thing in Wrath of the Lich King, and I love Stormwind Harbor so much. I mean, I really love the detail of them starting the construction of what we see in Wrath of the Lich King in the Burning Crusade, though I think technically this was added in like the last patch of the Burning Crusade, so pretty much for the most part throughout the majority of the Burning Crusade you don't really see this. But since the Burning Crusade Classic starts on the final patch, all of these people are loaded in here. Or let's actually check. Got Foreman Wick right here.
Well met.
And Mason Gold Guild. We're building another road down into Stormwind Harbor as soon as this wall has been removed, but this mad dwarf brought enough powder to level the entire quarter. I don't know what Master Alexton was thinking when he hired her. She's foul-mouthed, mean, and stubborn as an ox.
Well met.
We're trying to blow this wall so Wick's men can work on the new Harbor Gate house and a road beyond, but the clueless sod is crying about me using too much powder. Shh, I've been sapping since he was in diapers. This goes on much longer, I'll kick him into the canal and finish the whole blasted job myself.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that might be too many explosives, but it does work out in the end once we see Stormwind Harbor in the Wrath of the Lich King version of the game. And then we can see the park itself featuring a moonwell, which is actually very nice for Alliance tailors, because you need to come to a moonwell for some tailoring stuff. Where Horde players have to go into like Ashen Vale for their closest moonwell. But we got the Corruption Abroad, where we can actually go to Aberdeen to turn this quest in if you want. Which maybe I will do that. We have a Druid trainer as well, and just feels very Night Elven in here. But I think now we can go ahead and fly or hearth back to Ashtranar, and maybe one final quest we could do. So we could go to Aberdeen just to turn this quest in. We have a new quest here as well, to go to Forest Song, level 29 quest, which we already have a quest leading us there. And these will be 2 quests that we do in the far future. At least a couple episodes from now. Or who knows when the next episode will release. Could be in a couple of days, could be in a couple of months. But I have this stuff I can put up here. And then I might sell the shadow gem really quickly. And just to check down here, I have these 3 quests, and then more in the future. And then in Ashenvale, I think next episode will start Elun's Tear, Rain's Cleansing, Elemental Bracers. Maybe we'll even run in and do these quests. These ones will be further though. We also can continue the Tower of Althalex, Elemental Bracers. Did I say that already? And then these ones we'll hold off to do in a while. But we can get most of the quests in the western part of Ashenvale completed, where we've already completed most of the ones in northwestern Ashenvale, which is good. And hopefully by the time we're done with our shenanigans in Stone Talon, as well as our shenanigans in Ashenvale, it'll be time to start heading over here, where we could actually do this quest over here if we wanted, but it's intended specifically in Stone Talon. It's interesting that there's basilisks in the Thousand Needles that will drop the same quest item as the basilisks in Stone Talon. I wonder if that's an oversight or a reuse or a little thing on purpose just to add more flavor to the world. I always like to think of it as the third. When I was wondering earlier when the next time we would be in Auberndine was, and I suppose it's now, later in the episode. It'll be nice to turn in this quest, get just a little bit extra experience, and we're going to be really, really close to our next level up, which we should get pretty quickly as we begin our adventures again. Let's run out this way. Let's just get Basil, though I'm going to fly back to Ashtar soon. And Basil's going to despawn. Level 60 human priest hanging out here. Let's go ahead, turn this in, get 13 silver, and then I'm not going to do the next quest. But 150 reputation, 1,450 experience, and 13 silver definitely feels kind of worth it for what we just did. But I'm going to go ahead and fly back to Ashtanar, and I'm going to log out there so we can continue our adventures starting out of Ashtanar next episode, where this episode was definitely a little crazy and we did a ton of stuff in the Eastern Kingdoms, where I really hope you all enjoyed watching this episode. And I don't know if we can wave on Hippogriff, I guess we'll find out, but I hope you all are taking great care of yourselves. Remember to drink some water and subscribe if you haven't already. I want to see you all next time in Azeroth. Goodbye.